Hello and welcome to another episode of the Aranex podcast. My name is Craig Eason. I'm the editorial director and owner of the Fathom World website. And recently I was one of the judges on Seafocus's Intelligence Hunt. It's a competition that I think is quite unique in that it brings together students at universities who have a focus on shipping, logistics, maritime issues, companies that are looking for solutions and want to engage with students, the future generation of their workforce effectively, and also uniquely brings in mentors, people who have got vast amounts of experience in the shipping and maritime industry to actually add their thought and flavour to a competition. Now, in short, it's a competition where the students get given a task over a few months to actually go and find a solution for the company, and they get some guidance from the mentor. This recent competition that I judged was won by a team that was called Rauma Decarbonisers, and I'll come to them in a second. They were mentored by Poul Woodall, who many people who follow this podcast will know from his days as a very, very good advocate for environmental solutions in the shipping and maritime industry. And the team were putting together a solution for Rauma Marine Constructions. I'm going to start by actually going to MIka Laurilehto, who is he's at Rauma Marine Constructions. Hi, MIka. You decided that you wanted to get a solution looked at by a group of students. I'll say quite first off that it was no small challenge, was it? You wanted them to look at the whole decarbonisation question that a lot of the industry is already looking at. Can you tell me a little bit about why you went through this route? Why go and find students to find a solution for you that the whole industry is looking at the moment?
Well, yeah, thanks, Greg. Yeah, that's exactly the case. I think the whole industry, as you said, is looking at solutions to decarbonize and reduce the greenhouse gas emissions from the maritime industry. And of course, we as a company, we as a shipbuilder, we have done that already for quite some time to be able to provide solutions both for new builds and conversions for our clients. But it's always to get good to get the fresh sort of ideas from the fresh minds. And this is what we've seen earlier. We participated in the intelligence hunt earlier, and we've seen the brilliant solutions out of the box thinking that is coming out of these young minds. And this is what we wanted to see this time as well. What kind of ideas can we get and sort of a bit out of the box thinking of the hot topic.
Well, it's good that you say this out of the box thinking, because a lot of people in the industry will be, well, they're already talking about trying to find out of the box thinking and new ways of putting things together. And it's certainly no small challenge that we're facing. But I'm going to come to the 5 students that were in the team in a second. But Poul, you and I have known each other for probably more than a decade, looking at the environmental issues. You're now retired, but you've stepped up here. You stepped up as a mentor for this team to sort of give them some guidance. Why? Why did you want to not sit back on your laurels, as we say in English, and enjoy retirement? Why did you want to take part with these students?
Well, Craig, first of all, this climate issue, and particularly in the maritime sector, it's still my passion, even though I'm officially retired. And I try to keep in touch with what goes on and where I can assist in the Onward program. When I was fortunate enough to be offered to mentor a group, I said, well, this is a unique opportunity for me, first of all, to learn from the younger generation, because frankly, it's our generation who messed things up. It's the newer generation that has to try and solve it. But maybe listening to them and having a dialogue across generations, the team could develop something that was pretty unique. And when I saw the case from Rauma, it was just down my alley. That's really the kind of things I enjoy doing. So many good things about it.
It's an interesting solution that they came up with, Poul. How instrumental were you in shaping that response that they gave to Rauma?
Well, hopefully I wasn't. I was dying to come in with my ideas for a solution. but that was not what it was about. So I was really trying to hold back when I was talking with the team, and it was quite difficult. I tried to help them stay focused on the task in question, and where I could perhaps give them some sources where they could look for additional information. But frankly, I was dying to be part of the team, but I'm too old for that.
Let's talk to the team now. There's 4 of the 5 team members with me right now. Ahmed, Hassan, you're the team leader. I believe it was your idea that was taken and used by the team to become the solution that you gave to Rauma Marine Constructions. Tell me a little bit about. Let's start with the question that I really want to. I mean, I know what the answer was, what you came up with, because I judged it. But tell me in your own words, what was your solution?
Okay, my solution, our solution started first 2 years ago, or 1.5 years ago, during my study at Aalto University. Actually, we have been introduced to vessels that operate in Saimaa Lake, and our first task with some teams from Aalto, with some students from Aalto, is to design a ship that can operate in Saimaa. But it is actually not the task not to design zero-emission vessel. But we have been introduced to Saimaa Lake, to the beautiful nature of Saimaa, and this amazing, actually, this trade between Finland and Russia, timber trade. And,
I was just going to say, I was just going to ask you, where is Saimaa Lake, and what is special about the lake, and how does it connect as a lake to the sea?
Yeah, Saimaa Lake actually is at the center of center Finland near Lappeenranta. It is near the Russian border. It is connected to Russia through the Saimaa Canal, and then to the Baltic Sea. It ends to the Baltic Sea. Usually ships there operate between Lappeenranta to Viborg in Russia to transfer timber cargo. And some of the cruise ships continue to St. Petersburg in Russia. That's what I know about Saimaa, that trade in Saimaa Lake. And when I met my team, we discussed that at the beginning. We discussed to improve Saimaa hybrid idea, by introducing new type of fuel rather than the heavy diesel fuel, like LNG, like biofuels, or liquefied natural gas, and also CO2, liquefied CO2. But at the end, we decided to go with the idea of hydrogen fuel. Because we think that it is more futuristic, and maybe the technology of hydrogen fuel is more common than the other alternative fuels that are still in progress or in developing stage. And also nowadays, DNV and several classification societies started to put some regulation for storing hydrogen, and also regulation for operating using hydrogen fuel. So it is more futuristic. We go with this idea, improved it, and actually we met with several companies, discussed this idea with them, and actually they encouraged us to work on electrification of ships, make ships operate using electricity. But using electricity only and battery sometimes is not reliable, especially if you are going to take long routes. It will not be so reliable. So we introduced using hydrogen fuel cell, so our ship can operate using the hydrogen fuel cell, and also we have also batteries. So hydrogen fuel charges the batteries, and the batteries operate the electric motors. We have here 2 electric motors that propulse the ship.
Okay, and Umoh, let me turn to you now. Umoh Nsebong, you are at Chalmers University, but you hail from Nigeria, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah.
You are obviously being at Chalmers, you're studying around the area of the maritime logistics industry. Why did you want to come into a competition like this? What was your thinking about accepting an invite to join an intelligence hunt?
Well, my first thinking was the opportunity to be exposed to trending ideas and current industrial issues, which luckily the case company brought up something that was very exciting, and it was something that was prevalent and widely discussed. So I was really hoping and looking forward to learning something new. And however, it was a bit not so, it did not totally play out to the idea I had in mind, because I mean, we were a group of students with different ideas. We all had different ideas, and we'll always bring our ideas to the table and see what's the best. And it was sad to know that, to discover after we kept meeting with industry representative, that LNG wasn't the preferred, was no longer the preferred fuel alternative for decarbonization. But the solution we settled with, for me, as our team leader said, was futuristic, and it was the best. In I'm happy we chose that. And then also it opened up my perspective to look into what this fuel type would offer, that is hydrogen fuel, and a new kind of system.
And let me, and also just to go on from that, is the work that's been going on in the industry. There's a lot of projects and there's a lot of research going on into new fuels, not just hydrogen, methanol, methane, biofuels. There's a whole range of different fuels. There's work going on in battery, car in storage, even in carbon capture now as well. I mean, the technology range that you could have looked at is, as you listed there, Hassan, it's no short list of technologies that you could go and actually look at then. The other person that I've got here with me is Xiaohan, also from Chalmers, but hailing from China. What about you? What was your reason for joining the intelligence hunt?
Yes, I studied new architecture in my bachelor, and I also participate in several competitions. And I learned a lot from the competition. So when I saw the news about the C-Focus, I really want to join it, because I believe I can improve my ability. And another reason is that in last semester, I also studied sustainable shipping. It's about the decarbonization. Yeah, so it's such a coincidence that I joined the competition, meet the friends, and the case task is also about that. So that's the reason I'm here.
And how did you perceive the competition? Umoh mentioned about how he learned a lot from working together as a team, and how you effectively came to sort of certain conclusions and took some ideas off of the table, like LNG. No, it's not for us in this case. How did you perceive that working to sort of eliminate ideas that when you came to give Rauma Marine Constructions, came to give MIka your solution, that you had what you had? How did you find that process, that learning process, I suppose, during the competition time?
I mean, we have lots of thoughts at the first, and I believe everyone have a thought about the decarbonization. So that's the reason why we have Poul as our mentor. So he, full of experience, and we ask for why there is we can use for this task, and we got some feedback and continue to some solution.
And Ankita Nayak is the other team member that's on the call with me today, just taking part in this podcast. Hi, Ankita. You are from India, studying at Aalto University, same university as Hassan. Tell me a little bit about your input into this competition.
I basically came into this motivated by the decarbonization side, as all of us would expect, but more so because of how it largely contributes to the ecosystem as a whole, and not just to the marine industry, because that's really where the world as a whole is headed. And yeah, it does contribute to the climate goals at large. And that is what I, as an economic student who is interested in the environmental aspect, is looking forward to. In this project specifically, I was again motivated by the economic aspect of whatever we were trying to achieve, right? Because yes, you have these grand plans, and yes, we can achieve things in terms of the emissions, but a company which is looking at its bottom line, would they be able to implement something like that? Would they be able to sustain it in the long run? So that was my drive right from the beginning. And I wanted to look into the costing side and whether it's at all feasible from a profit-oriented perspective. So yes, basically my team members just worked on the technical build of our project, and they gave me like the requirements that are like materials and labor requirements, and then I had to like put together and estimate the cost of everything to reach a final figure and whether that would be profitable or not for the company as a whole.
I guess that commercial element of any solution has to be considered, because when we're looking at new ideas, new solutions, there is that cost that has to be realized of that investment into the technologies, particularly if it's a novel technology, and the risk. And this is something I've spoken to Poul about when he was working professionally in his previous role. It's the early movers do have a tendency to get penalized from within the industry if they put on board or they use technologies that then they find that the majority of the industry turn against, or even worse, they find regulations helps the industry turn against that. Just to wrap up now, Poul, I'm just going to turn back to you now about this working with students. Now, these are a bunch of intelligent students, hence the Intelligence Hunt name, and there were a lot of them. There were a lot of teams looking to find solutions for different companies. What can you say about the way that you've seen students today tackle these issues that we ourselves within the industry, you and I have been in this industry for decades, we're still coming to grips with how to tackle these sustainability and decarbonisation challenges? What's the benefit of being a student tackling these challenges now?
I think there's a number of things here to consider. First of all, we got the young brains. They're not inhabited by old ideas. That's one thing. Something else I've found with this team in particular is the benefit of working across cultures, across nations, across different types of education, because they are studying different things. And this team has just proven that teamwork is the way to success. And with that in mind, we have a good future ahead of us, because if they take that and it's the same for the rest of that generation, we're not too bad off.
And Mick, actually, that is quite true. Just thinking about that, the team consists of members from Egypt, Nigeria, India, China, and Ukraine. Of course, Poul, you hail from Denmark, and MIka with Rauma, clearly you're in Finland. This is a truly international effort that we're seeing here. But let me just turn to MIka, just to close here. MIka, you've got this idea that the students have given you. Me and the other judges, we looked at it, we declared it the winner. On a personal level, I can say it was a fantastic idea. I can see some ideas, parts of it that I think may not work, but I can see the overall idea of it definitely having a place. How does this kind of competition, how does this kind of energy from students help you as a supplier? Because it's not the shipping companies that are going to decarbonize the shipping industry. It's going to be the energy companies, it's going to be the technology companies, it's going to be the shipbuilders. Those are the ones that have to find the solutions to give to the shipping companies that want to transport people's goods or people around the world. So how does this energy inspire you and your business?
Yeah, I think there were actually multiple things that we could take out from this competition. Once more, of course, one of them, which Paul already mentioned, is the teamwork. I mean, due to the circumstances, working distance or working remotely, that's one of the things that we've already taken out from this. And seeing, as you mentioned, we have people from all over the world actually taking part. That was one learning. The other one, of course, was the route that they selected. I mean, Lake Saimaa from Lappeenranta to St. Petersburg. I was thinking, and probably Paul as well, something like southern Baltic or some sea route. But this was the other thing that, yeah, why not combine the sort of lake and sea through the canal, and then combining the sort of untypical cargo with passengers. We are talking about carrying timber in a passenger vessel. Wouldn't have thought about that either. These are the kind of things that, and of course then we come to the main thing, which is the decarbonization. Again, the technologies are available, but applying them in this kind of an application for a ship, this is something that we actually have already received some commercial questionnaires and inquiries that could we take this, actually the idea further, and this happened right after the competition. So this is quite amazing, really, to after a couple of days just receive a commercial inquiry on well, not exactly the same route and same ship, but similar idea. So really must thank the team one more time. And a lot of things that we've learned from this.
Thank you, MIka, and thank you to all of the students, Umoh, Ankita, Hassan, and Xiaohan, and Poul. Thank you very much. And don't forget, you can find details of this story and other stories that I cover on the decarbonisation on fathom.world. And if you're interested in the intelligence hunt, have a look at seafocus.international. You get all the details about this recent hunt, the previous ones, and if you're interested, the ones that we're looking at developing this coming summer. So until the next time, thank you, goodbye.